402-467-4444 for a great deal on a water heater today. Again, that's 402-467-4444.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Come enjoy a show of the Midwest's best boxing on Saturday, October 5th with Roughnecks at the Complex, the former location of Champions Fun Center. 8 bouts are scheduled for the night, including the main event of Dwayne Johnson and Jack Lawless Frericks in the Professional Middleweight Championship bout. Doors open at 6 p.m. with first bout at 7 p.m. Learn more about the boxers and buy tickets at thecomplexlincoln.com.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the K&TK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for three! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Presented by NEBCO. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Happy Hump Day, y'all. We are here. Austin Norman and Eric Strickland with you here during On the Block. Proudly brought to you by Nebco. Stricky, you're rocking the ticket gear. Your team ticket today.
Yeah.
But Stricky, my boys came through yesterday on the show. My boys came through.
Not only your boys, but your guy.
My guy.
So, it's just, hey, listen, it's your time out, guy. I don't know if they're ready to go all the way, because here's why.
Because you think they're shaky.
I watched. No, I don't think the team is shaky. I think the bullpen is shaky. Like, it was looking real suspect, putting people on, not throwing strikes. Like, they were setting themselves up for the downfall. But I can't remember the last pitcher that came in.
60. Yeah.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. Listen. That man throws 100, but his freaking changeup is 91 miles an hour. Like, bruh, that is sick.
What do you do with that?
What do you do with that? Like, okay, it's got to look the same, but it tapers off. Like, it drops off really nice with a little fade down and away. Yeah. He saved himself because he really got himself into trouble, but he was able to save it, man. But so shout out to the Royals.
We will carry game 2 of this wild card series beginning at 3 o'clock. So this show, we are on stream right now. We will be stream only beginning right at 3 o'clock. Royals looking to wrap up the series with the Baltimore Orioles. Tricky, since the new wild card format dropped, the team that won game 1 is 8-0 in those series. So the last 4 years, guess what? You win the first game, you win the series. 7 of the 8 times, they sweep. Things looking pretty good for the Royals.
Look, it was hype down there at Camden. They went on the road and got it done. So, it's impressive. It's impressive. And in a tight game, too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Couple other stats to get you on this Royals win before we turn the page. Cole Reagan's got the ball to start. 6 innings, no runs allowed, no walks, 8 strikeouts. First Royal in postseason history ever to do that. It was the Royals' first shutout victory on the road in the postseason. Granted, the Royals haven't been in the postseason a lot as an organization, but they still get a first. You mentioned my boy Bobby Witt Jr. BWJ and MVP both have 3 letters. I'm just saying. Stricky, he is the 4th youngest player ever with an RBI in a 1-0 postseason game since 1920. Paul Blair in a World Series, Javier Baez in 2016 in the divisional round, Jose Oquendo by 8 days, the only guy's younger than Bobby Witt Jr. But here's the other thing, Stricky, a little bit of a similarity, some coincidence, some kismet, whatever you want to call it. Bobby Witt Jr.'s first hit in the major leagues, a tie-breaking, game-winning RBI hit. Bobby Witt Jr.'s first hit in his postseason career, tie-breaking, game-winning RBI.
It's all in the stars, baby.
It's up there.
It's up there. It's all in the stars. Good, man. Shout out to them, man. But I do have something, and you can go on your blue and just sunny and just sky blue type of day for the Royals. There's another team that has a little bit of blue in them. I mean, they got a little bit of orange with some sun. That's very interesting.
Your boys.
Yeah. Listen, that's sick. That is a sick move. Like, okay, so
we're talking about the Knicks trading for Karl Anthony Towns, by the way.
There it is. If you, Austin, if you understand the business of it, you can understand why it happened. Because it looks as though the Karl Anthony Towns to Minnesota was more like James Harden was to the Brooklyn and to the Clippers. Right? Great in season and disappears in the playoff. With the matchup that they had against, there's no way it shouldn't have been a dominating type of situation with the Twin Towers that they have. Karl Anthony Towns against PJ Washington. To them, you take that matchup 100 out of 100 times, right? So that was disappointing for them because a lot of people believed that Minnesota was going to be the one.
Yeah.
So that's the part that moved them to consider, because you can't move Rudy Gobert. Like it's locked in stock. Rudy Gobert is going to be a Timberwolf
through the end of his contract.
I think to the end.
Yeah.
Now, somebody will take him on the low deal just to have just a good body, some inside presence, so all of that later on. But he won't get the money he's gotten now. Okay, so Karl Anthony Towns. You look at the finances of it now. The finances, Austin, they looked more after the playoff situation. Loved Naz Reid a little bit more. They felt that he gives them the versatility, the style of play that they like. They were hoping that him and his perimeter game would balance out the Twin Tower aspect of it. But Naz Reid has that, but he's a little bit more feet shifty, and he can do a lot of the stuff that Karl does, and it's the style that fits.
A little better defender as well.
Right? Right. Okay. So now it's like the perfect storm just all merged together, because the deal that Jalen Brunson made left open a large $100-something million left open, so that it's like he saw it. He saw the writing of what we're going to have to do here if I want to leave legacy here in New York.
Yeah,
this is what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to take it. And I hate that for him, because it's already super expensive and you're getting taxed out the yin yang. And so maybe he feels, shoot, it ain't going to matter if he's taking 200. He's going to take more than 200 out of my pocket. So better to be good than to be rich, basically, right? So now you've got the money to do it. Bruh, that team is solid. Now, you remove and get rid of Randall, and
who you won without last year,
and DiVincenzo, which that may, you may feel that a little bit. And it's not going to be like a killer hurt, but you like
it's a nice piece to have.
He's a good piece to have,
him.
but you can live without him. And you don't have to break the bank, man. It's going to be sick. And they match up now well against the Celtics. So go.
All of that. Everything Strick said, you should definitely digest. I want to start with Minnesota here, Strick, because I think a lot of the reaction from Wolves fans that I saw online was, we might have had our issues with this guy and his play on the court, right? Might not have lived up to everything that we wanted him to be, but they just made the conference finals for the first time in forever. It's been a long time since they did it. And I think to a lot of Wolves fans, it looks like, why are you punting on the team that got you there? You could have run it back with some upgrades, at the margins there. another year of continuity between those two. Maybe they learn to play together a little bit better. If you can play Towns at the 5, that pick and pop with Ant and Cat, there should be something there. And you always hate to hear money as an excuse, but we know the Timberwolves are still a smaller market team that is not willing to go into that second apron that really punishes teams now, right? It is so much more punitive and prohibitive now to be a repeat offender in that second apron over the salary cap that, yeah, I'm sure Minnesota didn't really want to do this trade because they would have liked to have seen another year because Cat had really ingrained himself in that Minnesota community. But for a small market team, you can't afford to lose draft capital. You can't afford to be limited to just the salary cap. You want to be able to hit that first apron and go over. So whatever Wolves fans are listening, I would say, yeah, it sucks. Yeah, you would have liked to have run it back. In the big picture, though, I do think this was a smart move for them because Randall is either coming off the books this year or next year. You can get out of that and not hurt yourself with the salary cap. Oklahoma City got better. Absolutely, by signing Hartenstein. I think that's a big move for them. But Strick, I'm not too worried about Minnesota. Ant takes a step. Gobert plays his role. But really, if Randall, to me, if he's okay with coming off the bench, leading that second unit, you can have Ant's team and Randall's team. There'll be moments where they're on the floor together. I think Randall did a better job of adapting to pieces around him in New York than anywhere else he'd been. But as long as Julius Randle buys into the role, I really think the Timberwolves are fine.
I think they're fine. I think they're fine because I think he fits the style that they want to play. Up tempo, a lot of versatility. I think he gives them that.
Yeah.
And so I think it's a perfect match across the board. You know, like you said, they definitely didn't want to touch that apron. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that there are a small market team. Being a small market team doesn't help you very much because you're not going to be a sought after commodity in the free agent market.
Even with Ant.
Yes. It's just not going to be what it's going to be. Now, it's a little bit different in New York. Like New York, it's still the prized possession of the city, of the state, as far as on the basketball side. It's still the prize.
And especially once the Yankees get bounced next round, it'll be the Knicks.
Well, there you go. There you go. But you still have that, and you still have, like you said, Brooklyn is just, no. It just won't be, can't be.
No.
You know what I mean?
Never will be.
But Philly needs to watch out. You know, Philly thought they upgraded and they got to a spot. I think if injuries weren't there for New York, they would have given a little bit more fight last year. I think just injuries just ended up hurting them. And just they gave what they could with what they had, and they did. They fought well and just didn't have enough. But I think if they can stay healthy this year and with the additions, I think their depth is a lot better. So therefore, I think the Knicks have kind of put themselves definitely in that top 3 slot. I want to say they're number 2 right now. I mean, you can't rule out Boston as far as they're the champs. You got to give it to them until you take it from them. But I think I moved them into the number 2 slot.
You mentioned that they match up better with Boston. And I have to agree, right? Because to me, Towns is what you bring out to counter Porzingis. Couple stretch big men at 7 feet tall. Towns is probably a better pure shooter than Porzingis. Porzingis might have a little bit of rim protection on him defensively still. But I'm so fascinated to see how this works, Strick, because we've seen Karl Anthony Towns and Tom Thibodeau together. Seeing both these guys over the last, 4 or 5 years since they were last together in Minnesota, I think that time apart has been good for them. Tibbs has been trying to trade for Karl Anthony Towns for a while now. I think the fact that they both have a better understanding of each other will go a long way. Towns will probably start the year as the center, but again, he can play the 4 if Mitchell Robinson comes back to give him different lineups and versatility. Not a great defender, like I mentioned, but you have Hart, you have Bridges on the wing that can cover up quite a bit. Brunson's not a terrible defender, not great, but he can at least hold his own. I think this Knicks team...
And Anunoby also.
And Anunoby, exactly, if he stays healthy. Yeah. So I'm curious to see if Tom Thibodeau still leans into defense and he and Karl Anthony Towns kind of butt heads on role, scheme, positioning, or if they've both learned enough about each other to know what the expectations are and move forward smoothly.
So this thing can go one of 2 ways. One, being a small market town, Karl Anthony Towns also, if I remember correctly, maybe from Jersey. My resident Encyclopedia will fact check me on that.
Born in Edison, New Jersey.
Yeah.
My
Okay.
man.
So being that he's in Jersey, that can go one of two ways. One, you're back home. Like for me, just for me, being close to home didn't hurt me.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Knowing that Omaha's right, like it inspired me. It invigorated me. It made me want to strive for higher excellence because I knew that the people that loved me, I knew the people that even doubted me, I knew there was a group that maybe wanted me to fall flat on my face, and then there was a group that cared enough and believed in me enough that I did not want to let down. You can go back and experience that being the proximity to New York. Okay. Mm-hmm. Or you can fall victim to the coddling. Oh man, yeah, you him. And then you kind of succumb to it because New York can eat you up. And especially being a Knick, bro. Like when I tell you the places we were able to go and do and walk into, and like it's like that. And he can either fall and succumb to that, lose his intensity, lose his fight, fall into contentment. All of those one of those two things are going to happen, and it's right around the corner, Austin. I mean, we're talking.
We're in training camp.
We're right there. So I really hope that they don't. He doesn't fall into the, the buddy and the yes man all around you type of mentality, because being in you get it's good, it's nice, but it ain't New York,
right?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm hoping he does raise up.
Rico pointed this out to me. When the Timberwolves trade away a big man, it usually goes well for the team they're trading with. They trade away Kevin Garnett to Boston. Celtics win a title. They trade Kevin Love to Cleveland. Cleveland wins a title. They trade Karl Anthony Towns to New York. Wait and see. But here's the thing, Stricky. When I look at Karl Anthony Towns, there's another number one pick that I think he needs to follow the blueprint of. And that's Andrew Wiggins. With Timberwolves, ironically enough. Ryder with the Cavs traded to the Timberwolves. He had to get out of there. He was miscast as a number one option. That's why I think Anthony Edwards' arrival was really good for Karl Anthony Towns, where there wasn't that much pressure on his shoulders. Cat's still probably the two right now behind Brunson, but I think that's a better spot for him to be in than there's a lot dependent on you. When Ant goes to the bench, okay, Karl Anthony Towns, you're up, you got to score. There will be some of that, but I think Bridges is a capable enough scorer to take some of it off of him. Anunoby can pick and pop quite a bit. But Andrew Wiggins was a key piece to that kind of surprise title for the Warriors. He played the best basketball of his year in that postseason back in 2022. And I wonder if that's the blueprint for Karl Anthony Towns to follow. Be a role player, but then when the moment comes, you have to be ready to step up and make an impact, whether that's offensively or defensively, like Wiggins did as well.
Well said. I have to agree with you. Sometimes change of venue change of location, change of lifestyle. Sometimes that can make a difference, and sometimes it can hurt. But I think who he's surrounded by, and hopefully the conversations that him and Tibbs will have, will help the team to go to another level, and that level is to put themselves in a position for a championship. That's really what you can hope for, because New York, as if you watch the movie of Malcolm X, if you watched it, and Denzel Washington played it, he did a good job. Malcolm in it, he says, that brother's starving. Yeah. Hopefully that's how the Knicks fans are right now. Them brothers are starving. You know what I mean? They starving right now. They want it so bad, and hopefully they'll be able to provide it for them.
Credit the front office for staying patient, waiting for its moment, right? To go get Jalen Brunson, then to get Karl Anthony Towns, not forcing it, right? I think old Knicks front offices would have tried to force a trade through, or gotten so desperate to the point where they would have had to give up even more than they did. DiVincenzo and Randall isn't cheap, and with a first rounder attached, salary filler to Charlotte, I think it is as well. I mean, it's not cheap, but it didn't look desperate. It didn't look like, the Knicks have to do something. They're trying so hard to get something done, which is, I think, a credit there to that front office, and different than we've seen from the Knicks in the past. Rick, I'm a legit believer in the Knicks. I think in large part because of Leon Rose and the job he's doing. I think he's pressed a lot of the right buttons. But Strick, you got to get your boy John Starks back on the horn and tell him he was holding out on us. He knew. He knew this was coming.
He definitely knew. You can't. Yeah.
You're gonna let him just pull it over you like that?
He could. Yeah. We might have to make a call, man. We might have to have a conversation about. Dang, man, you could have gave me the inside source on that one. That would have been good to definitely have that on the show, man. But yeah, man, we're looking forward to seeing the season's right around the corner, so it's gonna be fun.
Let's go to break here. Karl Anthony Towns traded to the Knicks. Royals 1 win away. We're about half an hour away from pregame coverage of that. Don't forget, we are flipping over to Sartor Heyman Jewelers streams only at 3. He's Strick. I'm Austin. We've got Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald coming up on the other side. We'll talk some Husker football and Ndamukong Suh going into the Husker Athletics Hall of Fame. What does that mean for him? We'll reminisce on his career a little bit and get into Nebraska Rutgers coming up this weekend. 402-464-5685. Let me know your favorite Ndamukong Suh memory. We'll bring those up with Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald next. Are you looking for affordable drinks and a great atmosphere this football season? Highball Bar has you covered. Whether it's pregame tailgating, postgame festivities, or in-game celebrations, Highball Bar is the place to be. With $4 beers, $4 mixed drinks, and more during their 4 to 8 p.m. daily happy hour, Highball Bar will quickly become your go-to place to sit back, unwind, and be your team's #1 fan. Highball Bar, located in downtown Lincoln, just 3 blocks from Memorial Stadium at 122 North 11th Street.
Hey, Nebraska football fans, it's defensive lineman Ty Robinson, and I've got a winning play for you with Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical. Team up with Action and install a new Bradford white water heater in your home. And if we win the conference championship this season, you'll get a full refund. Don't fumble this opportunity. Sack your old water heater this season and score big with Action. Visit actionlincoln.com/Huskers to learn more.
Promotion valid for a limited time. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled, high-end wine bar. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for wine, beer, spirits, and cigars. Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Garage doors can be expensive. Are you keeping yours in the best condition possible? This is Cameron Hall with Doors Plus. Doors Plus is a locally owned business that prides itself on the fast, reliable, and friendly service. Doors Plus offers flexible scheduling so you can book an appointment that fits your busy day. My team and I will come out to your property, both commercial and residential, and provide you with the necessary information you need to make sure your garage door is in working and smooth condition. Give Doors Plus a call today at 402-590-5800 to book an appointment and learn more about our preventative maintenance plans. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Are you worried about storm damage causing issues with your basement? F Foundation Repair fixes basements with supreme waterproofing and exact concrete leveling for residential or commercial clients. They service wet basements, leaky walls, damp crawl spaces, bowing or cracked bricks or drywall, and more. Whether you're in Southeast Nebraska, the Tri-Cities area, or Northeast Kansas, they'll easily make the trip to you. Get a free evaluation today by visiting WeFixBasements.com or call 402-804-1024. F Foundation Repair. We fix basements.
When you need a new water heater, nothing beats the ProLine family of water heaters from A.O. Smith. ProLine models are built using commercial-grade components, meaning they're built to help you tackle your toughest days. No matter if you need a gas or electric model, A.O. Smith has a ProLine unit for you. A.O. Smith, innovation has a name. Call Greens at 402-467-4444 for a great deal on a water heater today. Again, that's 402-467-4444.
Looking for a place to relax and unwind after a busy day? Cigars Lounge at 8th and Q in the Haymarket is the perfect place to enjoy good company, a cocktail, and of course a cigar. Visit Cigars Lounge on Tuesdays for Top Shelf Tuesday and enjoy 50% off select spirits. Cigars Lounge offers Perdomo, San Cristobal, Rock Patel, and more of the top stogie brands that you know and love. But that's not all. If you mention this ad between noon and 5 p.m., you'll receive 15% off your entire tab just by mentioning the ticket. Check out Cigars Lounge today at 8th and Q in the Haymarket.
Come enjoy a show of the Midwest best boxing on Saturday, October 5th with Roughnecks at the Complex, the former location of Champions Fun Center. 8 bouts are scheduled for the night, including the main event of Dwayne Johnson and Jack Lawless Frericks in the Professional Middleweight Championship bout. Doors open at 6 p.m. with first bout at 7 p.m. Learn more about the boxers and buy tickets at thecomplexlincoln.com.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the K&TK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeit. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful, with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals and everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work, to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com.
College football in Lincoln, America. The time has come. Start your game day off right with the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the ticket crew as they bring you all the coverage you need to get you ready for the action. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Brought to you by General Fire and Safety, Raisin Canes, Perch Merch, Sunbelt Rentals, Mullen Motors, Select Plumbing, and the Kindler Hotel. On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is On the Block, Strick and Austin with you 2 to 4 weekdays. It is 2:30 on a Wednesday, which means we're headed to our Allo Fiber VIP line. Allo is where they understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. We welcome in Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald. Evan, how's your week going? How are you?
Doing well. I don't know whether to wear a jacket or, a swimsuit from an hour-to-hour basis, but hanging in there.
Did I see that it's potentially going to get mid-90s for Nebraska Rutgers this weekend? Am I reading that right?
That's what I'm seeing. And, it's funny. Greg Schiano made mention of that at his press conference with Rutgers this week. You can bet he noticed that Nebraska switched those sidelines this year. So it's not a case where a year ago Jim Harbaugh's with Michigan in town saying, "Hey, why are we in the shade?" And now Nebraska's going to be over there. So it'll be interesting.
Is this one of those kind of reverse advantages where we always talk about, hey, SEC teams have to come up north and play in the cold? Is this Rutgers having to go south and play in the heat? Is that advantage Nebraska just by default?
It's funny. I actually was looking up distance from Lincoln to Piscataway from a north-south perspective. They're dead even, if you can believe that.
That's crazy.
So they're actually just going to pretty much due west. But it's different for sure. I think they've got the fall weather, the foliage is out in full bloom out there. And, it feels like College World Series weather here, at least for a few days. So maybe that's an area Nebraska can find some benefit in with the shade and just how much they rotate guys.
College World Series weather. When's the rain out day?
Yeah, maybe that'll be Sunday. You're right. We don't want tornado warnings or anything like that for sure.
We do not. More Nebraska Rutgers here in just a minute. But Evan, I think headlining the weekend is Ndamukong Suh going into the Husker Athletics Hall of Fame. I always forget that Ndamukong Suh was a Bill Callahan recruit, right? He wasn't a Bo Pelini guy, but in the class of 2005. In my head, he's this, under the radar prospect that not many people knew about. The Bo Pelini, Carl Pelini, et cetera, turned into a game wrecking force. But no, we have to begrudgingly give Bill Callahan credit as part of his, good recruiting classes. that's actually what got Ndamukong Suh to Lincoln.
That's right. I mean, that 05 Bill Callahan class, in a lot of ways, opened up Nebraska fans' eyes to what recruiting became over the next 15 years. I mean, they were a top 10 class that he brought in, and really fans hadn't followed recruiting all that closely up until that point. Certainly the stars and the class rankings and everything were still pretty new. And Nebraska, for under Solich and Osborne, had always taken highly recruited guys, but maybe they weren't, the industry wasn't there or whatever at that point. So this was kind of that first chance where Nebraska fans, I think, got a sweet tooth for going after, 4 stars, 5 stars, whatever it might be. And Suh was one of the headliners of that class, but obviously nobody thought that he'd necessarily become what he did. And when you think about Bo Pelini's first couple of years there in 2008 and 2009, he did that with Callahan recruits. He was able to take some pretty talented clay, so to speak, and mold it into something that was really pretty special. So yeah, it was, you wonder how different that would have been in the portal era or the NIL era, Suh's experience at Nebraska. But as it turned out, I think the circumstances lined up pretty well for him. I know he didn't want to stay initially, being a kid from the state of Oregon. Got homesick, but did decide to stick it out. And, as they say, the rest is history. And I think he made the right decision.
There's some real names in that 2005 class. I mean, the headliner is still the highest rated recruit in Nebraska history in Marlon Lucky, Philip Dillard in that class. Steve Octavian, Zach Potter played a role. Matt Slauson, obviously at Nebraska, and then in the NFL, Zach Taylor, a part of that class. Barry Turner.
Hey, we know him.
Which one, Stricky? All of them? Yeah, Zach Taylor. I'm trying to think. France Hardy is a throwback name. Cody Glenn. Even Oladogan Duro. There's some real names that Bill Callahan pulled together there. And I just think that's impressive. And maybe Husker fans need to, the record is what it was, but did how much did Bill Callahan lay the foundation for Bo outside of just that first year?
Well, I think when you look back on it, I mean, Callahan he conducted a national sort of recruiting operation. You look at some of the places where those guys are from. I mean, Marlon Lucky was from Los Angeles. They were recruiting on the East Coast as well. Suh was from Oregon, like I mentioned. So they brought guys in from all over, and that was kind of that regime change class that you think. I mean, that was his first full class. He had a vision at Nebraska. And I think history would say that Callahan was very good at identifying talent and getting it to Lincoln. The challenge at times was coaching it up or putting it in a scheme that made sense for winning in the Big 12 at that time. And then, Pelini was kind of the other way. His recruiting operation was not quite as advanced. I don't know that his eye for talent, when you look back on the players that he brought in, had quite the same hit rate. But what he was really good at doing was coaching up the guys that were in that room. And so, that's why I always think of those 2008, 2009 teams in particular, where Pelini was able to coach up some really high-end Callahan recruits, and that's why they came within a second of winning the Big 12 and just had some of the seasons that they did. So it was a really interesting group of players there that were part of a couple different transitions at Nebraska. But, again, cool for Suh for making a lot of memories in that time. I mean, you talk about the struggles Nebraska's had in the last decade. I think for a lot of people, modern Husker fans, anyone who's younger than, say, 40, a lot of your top memories are going to involve a lot of those guys that you mentioned in that 05 class, certainly Suh and the pick six against Colorado. And so what a cool moment this weekend for him to be out there at Memorial Stadium and throw the bones for the crowd here another time.
On a scale of Bill Callahan to Bo Pelini, where's Matt Rule fall in your eyes as a coach and recruiter?
Well, to be determined, I suppose, in a little way. The game's changed, right? There wasn't a portal around at that time, and the way that you can convince guys to come here through NIL is different than they had at that time. But I think by most accounts, I mean, he's showing to be good elements of both, maybe the best of both worlds, where, Nebraska's still looking at a top 25 class at this point, still without a winning season 8 years. They've been in on multiple 5-star prospects. Obviously, they land Dylan Raiola and others who have gone elsewhere after having Nebraska in their finalists. So, like, you wonder how that could flip with a winning season, what difference that would make. And then, Rule, his reputation has been as a program builder. Obviously, what he did at Temple and Baylor and some of the individual success stories that have come out of that, guys that he's identified and, helped get into the NFL. So how that turns out at Nebraska, I think still remains to be seen, but you're already seeing some pretty cool developmental stories. Even just this week, guys like John Bullock have been the topic of conversation. And, I thought Tony White shared a good story about their first practice. They saw Bullock out there as the number 3 or 4 safety. And Rule says, maybe we should try this guy at linebacker. And a year and a half later, here he is playing at an all-conference level, big part of what the defense is doing. So some of that story is yet to be written, but I think there's pretty promising evidence out there that he could be, pretty good as both a recruiter and a developer.
Matt Rule's done a good job of bridging the past to the present as well as the future. At one time, there was some tension between Ndamukong Suh and Nebraska. I mean, the man goes into the Hall of Fame when he goes into the Hall of Fame. Has that relationship been smoothed over? Is this another Matt Rule maybe, papering over some of the cracks in the relationship with an alum?
I don't see it that way. I talked to Ndamukong last week. I didn't get that sense at all. I mean, he made the gift to the North Stadium weight room whenever that was, 8 or 10 years ago. He still, I think, fondly roots for Nebraska, follows Nebraska. So I guess I don't really see any issue there. I think he's just a guy who has been pretty busy since then. I mean, 13 NFL seasons. As I wrote today, he's busy with a ton of other pursuits, business pursuits, family things going on. He's not technically retired at this point. So, maybe it's a situation where he'll have a little more of a presence if things ever slow down. But I think right now he's just excited to come back and check out the new facilities and maybe catch up with some people that are still around, like Dennis LeBlanc and academics and other folks like that. So I think he's looking forward to what should be a pretty fun weekend.
We're talking with Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald here on our Allo Fiber VIP line. Homecoming weekend for the Huskers. They welcome Rutgers to town. And Evan, I think Rutgers played one of the most Rutgers games of all time against Washington. Get outgained, not force a turnover, and yet still find a way to win 21-18. I feel like that might be the perfect test for this Nebraska team because they won't, if they beat themselves, Rutgers will certainly take advantage. That seemed to have been the Greg Schiano sort of modus operandi whenever he's been in Piscataway.
Yeah, I think they have some strengths that Nebraska is working toward achieving. Special teams would be one. I mean, that's where they've been able to swing a lot of games, coming up clutch in key moments, kind of like you mentioned defensively. Washington was able to move the ball on them, but Rutgers bowed up each time and really prevented significant damage. And, it's a team that just kind of knows what it is. It wants to be a hard-nosed running team. It wants to be a hard-hitting defensive team. It's kind of got that East Coast tough New Jersey kind of style to what they do. And Nebraska's, I think, getting to that point. They would like to be in that area. But, one of the differentiators, as it seems to be a lot of weeks, is probably Dylan Raiola. And Nebraska has an ability to go deep in a way that Rutgers offense hasn't really shown to this point. But, I think there are a lot of just kind of interesting little matchups that play into this. I think Rutgers' strengths actually match up pretty well with Nebraska's strengths in terms of their style of run game. I think Nebraska is excited to try to get after Kyle Monangai, their 5'9" sort of bulletproof running back that they have up front there. So, Nebraska, I think, showed progress as a tackling team defensively against Purdue. Does that carry over this week into Rutgers? And I mean, let's put it out there. Like this is a big swing game. This is an undefeated Rutgers team coming to Lincoln in October. I think there's, this idea that, Nebraska is trying to prove it belongs in the upper half of the Big Ten. It just proved that it's not in the basement. anymore with the win over Purdue. I think that was a pretty strong statement in the second half. And now you look at a Rutgers team that's, I think, pretty squarely in that upper half of the league. Can you at home, if you're Nebraska, take care of business and show that you can maybe beat Rutgers at their own game? I think that's something I'll be watching for Saturday.
Evan, we have a question on the stream, and the reason I want to bring it up because I think it's a pretty good question to throw out to you. Get your thoughts on it. Jay from the stream says this. Why does it seem our team has a huge mental block? Question. Is it something passed down from all of the way back in Riley's and Frost time, to include Callahan? We seem to practice so well and can't translate execution to the game. Thoughts on that?
I don't know that it's a culture thing. I think that's something Matt Rule's tried really hard to change. I mean, you think back to that open 1890 practice that they had in August, and they got it in their Chasing 3 documentary about just like, hey, people are in the stands. Why are we performing any differently? I wouldn't call it a mental block as much as I'd say it's when you're at Nebraska, like I think players understand that it means a little bit more to the fan base here. Again, there's no professional teams. You talk about the sellout streak, the history. I think if you're around Lincoln or if you're around the area for even a short amount of time, how much it means and you want to do well. And so I think the tendency, kind of the human nature side of that is when you see those people out there and it's game day, it's like, man, I'm going to be the guy today. I'm not going to screw this up. And sometimes you do too much and you play hero ball a little bit, or you perform or try to look outside of your assignment and what you're trying to do. I think that's the kind of thing that's popped up on bad Nebraska teams. I think that's the thing that's occasionally popped up on this team too, where sometimes you care so much and you see how much is invested in you with the facilities and now NIL that you want to go out and prove yourself. I think sometimes that's kind of where that comes in is you care too much and you sort of freeze up in some of these key moments.
Did Nebraska take a step in the right direction of getting over some of that after a rough first half against Purdue, turning into a 28-point second half?
I think maybe, yeah. It doesn't go down officially as a one-score win, which have obviously been pretty elusive here for a while. But you think about the pressure of that second half. I mean, it's scoreless at the break. You're down by a field goal in the third quarter. Your field goal unit is a mess. And what do if you're Nebraska? You start running the ball, you score on multiple consecutive possessions, and you do in the fourth quarter what you've talked about doing to teams since Matt Rule's been here, which is pound the rock, go for 75 plus rushing yards in the fourth, which they did. And you sort of assert your will and assert your conditioning in the fourth quarter. And so, there's still that next step of like, hey, can you rally late, run a 2-minute drill, or can you hold off an opponent that has a chance to take a late lead? Like that stuff is still probably yet to come. But what they did do was took what was a high stress second half situation where it's kind of running through your head of oh boy, we're losing to a bad Purdue team right now. What's that going to look like, if this thing goes final? And they responded to that in a big moment. They embraced the competition. They stuck with their game plan. They didn't panic. And so, yes, I think that's when you're talking about, and Matt Rule said it afterwards, this is a team that's continuing to grow as the season's going on. I think that's another tangible example of maybe a step that this team's taking that can be helpful in the season's second half.
That's Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald. He's our guest Wednesdays at 2:30. Check him out at omaha.com and on Twitter, Evan Bland, OWH. Evan, as always, appreciate your time. Looking forward to a good game on Saturday. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
Evan joined us on our VIP line brought to you by Aloe Fiber, where they understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. Stricky, quick before we get out of here, do you think Nebraska took a step forward in getting over that mental block with the way they handled the first half into the second half against Purdue?
I think some things. I'm not going to say totally or completely. I think there's some things like Evan said, definitely one score games, one score situations. They had struggled second half of games before that, just seemed to come to a stalemate. Again, They had issues in the areas of penalties that need to be addressed and corrected.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll go well for them if they play that way against this Rutgers team. I don't think it'll work well for them. Is it going to be a one-score game? I think this one's possible. You came up short last one. What did you learn out of that? Did it touch your heart enough to get you to strive more and focus more in those times when it is needed and necessary to do something? And then, like he said, don't play hero ball. Don't go out there and try to do. Don't go out there and try. Run, see what you've trained on, hit gaps you're supposed to. Don't try to bounce stuff out when you think you're going to make a big play. If it's there, do it. But if not, get up, get the yards that you need to get. I think they just need to be keeping the main thing, and that's execution, that's being sound discipline, that's moving the change, that's getting your mind right on special teams, that's not allowing holes and gaps, because don't be that guy.
Yeah.
You know what I
Don't
mean?
be
Like,
that guy.
Yeah, just
You're not that guy, pal. Don't be that guy.
Yeah, just don't. Like, if you're supposed to be down feeling, if you've got to run through somebody to make sure a hole doesn't open up, do that. Don't try to run around them and then open up a lane, or especially strong side.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're supposed to set edge, don't crash down trying to make a big play or a stop, because then what? The quarterback now pulls it. It's third down and 8. No, it's third down and 4, 3, and they run a read option of some sort, and you're on the edge, knowing what your responsibility is. Nothing outside of me, nothing inside. I get to the end of the edge, which is the either I take on the tight end, or if I'm left unblocked, then I slide. I watch right. I watch, slide down, and then I track. You know what I mean? So those are training things. They're getting trained on that. And if you don't, then guess what? You dive down in there. I'm trying to make the play, and then boop, quarterback goes out 15 yards, and it's a crucial play.
Guess where we saw that? Super Bowl. Bosa bites down, Mahomes keeps it. First down, Chiefs, game over.
There it is.
Just like that. That's obviously far beyond where Nebraska is playing right now, but we see it even at the pros, right? Do your job. Things typically work out for you. We'll go to break, short break. Keep sending in your favorite Ndamukong Suh memories, whether that's college or pros. We'll go over those and then get you set up for what we're talking about, stream only with the Royals coming up in 10 minutes. Nebco is hiring CDL drivers for Ready Mixed Concrete, Husker Concrete, and Beatrice Concrete. Nebco offers great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and they pay for CDL training. Apply today and start your new career with a $2,500 hiring bonus. From Nebco's beginning in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
Looking for a place to relax and unwind after a busy day? Cigars Lounge at 8th and Q in the Haymarket is the perfect place to enjoy good company, a cocktail, and of course a cigar. Visit Cigars Lounge on Tuesdays for Top Shelf Tuesday and enjoy 50% off select spirits. Cigars Lounge offers Perdomo, San Cristobal, Rock Patel, and more of the top stogie brands that you know and love. But that's not all. If you mention this ad between noon and 5 p.m., you'll receive 15% off your entire tab just by mentioning the ticket. Check out Cigars Lounge today at 8th and Q in the Haymarket.
Ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. And Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
It happens. All of a sudden, you need a plumber. Just call Bryant, 467-1111. Problem solved with Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals and everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com.
You can help fight deadly diseases like RSV and influenza while getting paid for your time. Velocity Clinical Research is now seeking clinical trial participants in your area. Participants can receive compensation for study-related time. No health insurance is needed to join. Find a study near you at velocitytrials.com. That's velocitytrials.com.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Thanks again to Evan Blaine for joining us here during On the Block. Austin Norman, Eric Strickland with you. One last segment for us over radio. We're going over the streams, though, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter already up and running for you, as is Allo Channel 961. Before we get there, Stricky, have you ever seen a more dominant player on a snap-to-snap basis for Nebraska football than Ndamukong Suh?
On the defensive side?
Any side. Just dominant. Pure domination. Snap-to-snap basis.
Have I seen it outside of him for Nebraska or total?
For Nebraska, specifically.
Oh, for Nebraska? No, bro. Well, yeah. No, I don't think. I think it was a combination of dominance, but just solo dominance. Nah, I mean, because I thought Grant Wistrom was like, he was like something special, you know, Tomich, those guys. But it was a collective. It was a lot of. I thought Broderick Thomas and Neal, those guys were dominant. But they were he was like a solo wrecking ball on the front line. Like it was nothing. It didn't matter if they double, triple time. He was destroyed. There was a guy, and I don't know how he did it. And Cluster will be in here tomorrow for WTF. Oh, he won't be in the studio, but he'll be remote. But we had this guy who he was slim. Like look on Austin. I'm gonna be honest. He was about your size, high school.
I was not my size in high school, just so you know.
Okay, so he was like your size. Mm-hmm. He was probably 6 foot, maybe. His name was Scott Klein. And if you're a listener and you know you're familiar with Bellevue West, he looked preppy. Like he kind of looked like you, but had the hair. You know that. Now we got to go back into the early '90s. He had the hair that flowed down over his eye. You know. All the honeys liked him, and he was
stealing him from Stricky.
He was your size. Stricky played linebacker, so that means what? He didn't play linebacker,
right?
He wasn't a cornerback because most cornerbacks don't dominate like that. Mm-hmm. Wasn't a safety. He was a nose guard. Your size, and I'm not lying.
I believe you.
But when I tell you he led the state in tackles.
As a nose guard? Dang. Okay, Scott.
He was he may not have led, but he was in the top 10. And he was destructive from the nose guard position. And he don't remind me of Ndamukong, but that's how Ndamukong, when I think about what he used to do from the position, I remember him and he would always be jittery. And the minute that ball hiked, he was like by the center. Like he was so quick. But Ndamukong was both.
Was he hopped up on something?
Could be. But Indomitian had speed and power.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I guess the closest thing you can say Indomitian is you have to go to the pros and you have to say Aaron Donald.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he was doing it in college at one of the toughest conferences at the time, too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. I can't. Do you have anybody?
Text line is saying Rich Glover, but that's not in my lifetime, right? I can watch the videos
Glove,
and see
they say
Rich
was dominant.
Glover
Okay.
in the 20 tackle game he had against Oklahoma or whatever. Yeah, we know Rich Glover was really good. Not in my lifetime necessarily. Neil Smith potentially.
That's what I was talking about.
Thrown out.
That's what I said.
Cigar Guy says Lawrence Phillips might have been as dominant on the offensive side. You rolling?
LP was There's nothing no one could do with LP. He was that good. A combination of power. Like, here's the thing. Dante Dowdell has not just the framework, but he has like the makeup to be like LP. But LP, you didn't know whether or not he was going to run you over or he was going to leave your feet stuck in the ground.
Yeah.
Or he was going to break an ankle. Like, you didn't know. And it's like when you thought he was going to break an ankle, he'd run you over, right? And then when you thought he was going to hit you with a shift move or something, he would break your ankle. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like LP was phenomenal. Like, I loved watching it. And I go back periodically and watch that just Florida game. It just how dominant Nebraska was back then, bro.
Yeah.
Like
a 38-point win in a natty.
You look at the documentaries and you see how hard those Florida teams trained and worked and they're in the heat and that's what they're used to. And you see Miami and those guys and their prowess, and then you see Warren Sapp on his knee and can't breathe. That shows you when they say Husker power, that's what we prided ourselves. And even in basketball, it was like a carryover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got to get out of here. We got the Kansas City Royals coming up next against the Baltimore Orioles, looking to take the series. Stick with us, though. We're headed to stream Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and the app. We're not going anywhere. Join us there.
Come enjoy a show of the Midwest's best boxing on Saturday, October 5th with Roughnecks at the Complex, the former location of Champions Fun Center. 8 bouts are scheduled for the night, including the main event of Dwayne Johnson and Jack Lawless Frericks in the professional middleweight championship bout. Doors open at 6 p.m. with first bout at 7 p.m. Learn more about the boxers and buy tickets at thecomplexlincoln.com. It's the fall sports season, and that means that the school year is back in session and you're planning road trips for Nebraska football games and following your kids around to their different events. Stop telling yourself you'll upgrade your car someday and do it now. Mullen Motors Lot is full of great vehicles to take home so you don't have to worry about your current car struggling through another season. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Lake and find your next ride. As your fall schedule gets busy, you'll need a reliable way to get to your destinations. Mullen Motors.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
I'm softball player Jordy Ball, and I'm proud of my Nebraska roots, and I'm proud to be back home. And at Midwest Bank, they're proud to be your local community bank. They believe in family first, taking initiative, showing integrity, and rolling up their sleeves to support their local communities. They treat everyone like family, no matter where you're from. Whether you walk into a branch in York, Lincoln, Norfolk, or Pierce, you know you're going to be welcomed with a smile. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank.
Looking for a place to relax and unwind after a busy day? Cigars Lounge at 8th and Q in the Haymarket is the perfect place to enjoy good company, a cocktail, and of course a cigar. Visit Cigars Lounge on Tuesdays for Top Shelf Tuesday and enjoy 50% off select spirits. Cigars Lounge offers Perdomo, San Cristobal, Rock Patel, and more of the top stogie brands that you know and love. But that's not all. If you mention this ad between noon and 5 p.m., you'll receive 15% off your entire tab just by mentioning the ticket. Check out Cigars Lounge today at 8th and Q in the Haymarket. All right, Rico, let's do the final checklist before we head out. We have a lot of people coming to the tailgate today.
I'm ready.
Burgers?
Check.
Chips?
Check.
Icy cold beer?
Check. Except this one.
I'm forgetting something. Wait a second. Where's the Führer's cheese spread?
I can't stop eating it. Rico, relax. I always pack extra. It's the biggest hit of the tailgate.
For the best appetizer, party dip, and tailgate snack, load up on Fuhrer's cheese spread today in most local grocery stores.
Riddle's Jewelry is excited to be celebrating 65 years. 65 years of so many incredible memories celebrating with each of your special moments. In celebration of the 65th Riddle's Jewelry anniversary, we will be offering up to 40% off all engagement rings and all diamond fashion jewelry. The excitement doesn't stop there. Riddle's Jewelry is also offering 18 months, 0% interest and $0 down financing on all qualifying purchases. Riddle's Jewelry has always been known for incredible customer service, one of the largest selections of engagement rings, and don't forget about the on-site jeweler. Come celebrate with us at Riddle's Jewelry, your one-stop diamond shop with exclusive Levian jewelry, Pandora Charm jewelry, and more. All at Riddle's inside Gateway Mall. Mulberry Barbecue by Single Barrel is the answer to all your lunch and dinner cravings. They have everything from smoked turkey sandwiches to brisket burritos to burnt-in sandwiches and pulled pork. Try a dinner plate option of barbecue nachos, a half-smoked chicken, a full slab of ribs, and so much more. Don't forget their great sides like mac and cheese, cheesy potatoes, barbecue beans, or red slaw. Mulberry Barbecue by Single Barrel, open Monday to Saturday from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. at 11th and Cornhusker Highway.
Garage doors can be expensive. Are you keeping yours in the best condition possible? This is Cameron Hall with Doors Plus. Doors Plus is a locally owned business that prides itself on the fast, reliable, and friendly service. Doors Plus offers flexible scheduling so you can book an appointment that fits your busy day. My team and I will come out to your property, both commercial and residential, and provide you with the necessary information you need to make sure your garage door is in working and smooth condition. Give Doors Plus a call today at 402-590-5800 to book an appointment and learn more about our preventative maintenance plans. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
What's the radon level at your home? Don't know? Find out with a call to Bryant Air Conditioning and Heating. Make sure your home is safe with a radon check from Bryant. If you've already tested, ask Bryant for a free estimate for mitigation. Once completed, you'll get a report showing how much safer your home is. When it comes to radon, call Bryant. 467-1111 for testing and mitigation. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
Constructors is now hiring for all positions, with laborers starting at $23 and up based on experience. Constructors has immediate job openings for laborers, mechanics, bridge builders, operators, and drivers. Start your new career today. Constructors offers great pay, health, dental, and vision insurance, paid time off, paid holidays, and so much more. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. For a complete list of openings and to apply online, visit constructorslincoln.com.
This is James Harrell with NP Dodge Real Estate. When I became a licensed realtor, I wanted a brokerage that would help me grow in my new career. I found that in Lincoln First Realty. When Lincoln First was acquired by NP Dodge, the training and support I received only got better. I love knowing I have the power of the NP Dodge brand behind me. I would recommend NP Dodge to new agents looking to jumpstart their real estate career and to current agents who want to take their business to the next level.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
It's game day at Raising Cane's. If you want to order like a champ, it's the action off the field you need to focus on. The only play you're running is chicken. So what combo are you picking? Make it a perfect season. We've got tailgates of hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers and cane sauce, and jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade. All available to order online or on our app. Touchdown! This season is about to be unbeatable. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, one love. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for three! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Presented by NIPCO. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Hour 2 of On the Block. We are stream only. Appreciate everyone sticking with us here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, as well as Allo Channel 961. Don't worry, we've got the text line still open for you as well at 402-464-5685. Jim, appreciate you on our YouTube stream leaving those comments, as well as Jay, just a letter J, who dropped one that Stricky gave to Evan Bland. Really appreciate him joining us at 2:30. Stricky, we're going to hear from the coordinators for Nebraska football. They spoke yesterday, didn't have a chance to get to it. You want offense first? You want defense first, Stricky? What you think?
Oh, defense need to do something. Come on.
All right. Let's hear about John Bullock. Really making a name for himself this year. Been probably the most consistent player on that unit. Here is Tony White talking about one of his two inside linebackers.
Well, it's if you're going to say anything about Nebraska, the first person I think that epitomizes what it is John. You know, he's a local guy, he's a Nebraska guy, right? And he comes over here, he walks on. I still remember the day where he's the fourth safety, and when we get here, he's the fourth safety or so, fourth or fifth safety, and Coach Rule standing back there, and he's like, "Hey, you see that guy right there? Well, let's move him to linebacker. Let's move John to linebacker and see what a simple like observation like that, right, turns into somebody who's playing at an all-conference level right now, you know, and he's loving where he's at. His decision to come back and play, you know, it's showing up on the grass, it's showing up in the locker room, it's showing up, you know, in family dinners, the smiles on his faces, the celebration when he scored and the guys going crazy for him. Like, it don't get any better than that story, you know, and it's really fun to be a part of that, because that's something he'll till the day he stops breathing, he'll remember that. You know, he'll remember this story. So still got a lot of games to go. He better play well the rest of the way. But it's turned out to be a good one so far.
It'd be one thing if John Bullock was just a story, but Stricky, he leads Nebraska in tackles, 15 solo, 29 total. Leads Nebraska in tackles for loss with 5. Second on the team with 2 sacks and a pick 6 and 3 passes defended and a forced fumble. He's not just a story. He's a football player.
Yeah, he's got a knack. You know, sometimes that's what it is. It's crazy because that same story resonates with me from when I was at Bellevue West. It was I was playing safety. I was a free safety, but I was coming up making plays at or around the line of scrimmage, or, you know, tracking stuff in the secondary. And the coaching staff was like, "Hold on, man. Like, we can't have our safety making all these plays. We gotta let's move him up to linebacker." And that what that shows is you just have a knack, right? There's something that you just are able to see, observe, read, react, respond, you know, just a little bit differently than just the norm. It happens in basketball by you just have a feel, they call, you know, you have a feel for the game. You know, it happens in golf where you have this kind of touch around the green, you know, and it's sometimes just a natural thing. And he's got that knack, and it's showing, because he's showing improving in such a multifaceted way on the field that I think you even said, who's going to be your most impactful guy? If I remember, you said John Bullock, or somebody said it. We're going.
I'll take credit for him. I'm sure.
We were going through. We're talking about on the offense. We were talking about all the different positions, and I don't know if it was Nick. It was either you, Nick. I didn't, because I think I said Princewell. And man, he's definitely showing. I love it. I love his game. I love everything about his game. He seems to be zoned in, tapped in. Like, there's a laser focus that he has that you can just see when they show him on the camera.
He's played in all 5 games. The guy that just played in his first game of the year, Javen Wright. Here's Tony White talking about what it meant to get Javen Wright back for the Nebraska defense.
It was fun to watch him run around. You know, he's got a big smile on his face, and he truly, you know, the game was taken away from him for a second, and you could see every moment he's out there. He gave him a different outtake. So he's out there and he's loving life, and he's loving running around and being with the guys. So just a reminder how you get into the groove of things, and you take for granted every second you get a chance to be around guys, be around the players, be around this place. So I think he's really enjoying what he's getting to do now.
Good to see Javen Wright back. Sounds like he spent the time off, obviously trying just to recover, right? Recurring blood clots. Sounds like that was the issue. Always scary. Stricky, Javen Wright may or may not be able to help with this. The pass rush. Been hit or miss, right? 6 sacks against Colorado, 5 against Purdue. Here's how Tony White grades his team's ability to get after the quarterback so far.
Yeah, I mean, it's overall, right? I mean, those are the things you expect from those guys, as well as the other defensive line group. That was a point of emphasis in the offseason, and everybody is happy that it's showing up in those situations, but we got to get them to those situations, right? I mean, this team coming up, they're not going to let you get them into 3rd down and long and let you pass rush them and do all that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it's fun that it showed up, but this is a different kind of animal we're dealing with here.
Rutgers runs the ball, Kyle Monengai, like Evan mentioned. And Nathan Kaliak-Manis, not necessarily the most gifted passer. He's fine. He's all right. Not necessarily going to scare you. Strick, since we just have a 5-game sample, your thoughts on the Nebraska pass rush? Good enough? Inconsistent? Where can they improve?
I think it's inconsistent. There's times where it shows up. There's times where there's way too much time. There's times where there are hurries. They just couldn't get there, and then a lane opens and there's just really no one else there. Then there's times where lanes just collapse. It doesn't matter what's going on. So yeah, I think it's just a little bit of inconsistency. Maybe I don't want to say it's complacency. Maybe there's additions that need to be made to technique, or additions that need to be made where you're a speed rush guy, maybe throwing a bull. Throwing a bull.
Even if you're not the most powerful guy, just try something different.
Something different. Just the things that you used to be able to go to, you got to understand that just as well as you watch film, so do others. So they can anticipate and get, maybe you've got there and you've got a rip technique of some sort that you add to your speed. Just there's always got to be some additions that need to be made, because as the competition level goes up, the things that may work on maybe a lower skilled individual or a fresh meat.
Mm-hmm.
So like I can tell you, when I showed up on the gym, sometimes I'm like, ooh, fresh meat. He's about to get worked over today. You know what I mean? Like, it's gonna be problems for him. Or when a guard comes in and you can see that glaze over his eye, and that's what it is like that too. Don't think Bosa and those guys and the best pass rush guys out there, Crosby and those guys, that they don't light up like a Christmas tree when they see somebody over there that's fresh meat for a rookie. You know what I mean? They get excited. So yeah, they watch.
Let's talk a little bit about Ethan Kaliak-Manis. He transfers to Rutgers from Minnesota. At Minnesota, he was the changeup to Tanner Morgan. His freshman year, he came in, helped engineer the comeback against Nebraska after the Huskers knocked Tanner Morgan out in the first half. Spent last year at Minnesota, only 53% completion, less than 2,000 yards passing, 14-9 touchdown to interception ratio. Tony White was asked how differently Rutgers is using him from what he showed at Minnesota.
No, he's doing a great job of being really efficient, knowing where to go with the ball. He's very similar. He's mobile enough to get out of trouble, and you got to honor him holding the ball and stuff and running out on the perimeter. But then, he just looks so efficient out there. He's going back to different reads. You see him scanning the field. He's pretty accurate on his throw. So it's fun to watch him. And then now you got to go compete against him, and it presents challenges. So
the comparison to me, Stricky, is Luke Altmaier. Kaliak-Manis is a little bit bigger than Altmaier, is a little bit longer. 62% completion, not crazy, but he's only been asked to throw it 96 times in 4 games. That's not a lot. Best passer efficiency rating so far, only averaging about 8 yards per attempt. Not elite, but enough to get the job done. I think he's maybe where Luke Altmaier was last year for Illinois, and he gave Nebraska problems both times, so it's a challenge for the defense.
Yeah. And he was a problem for us at Minnesota.
Yeah.
And being that he's probably coming in here with a lot of confidence. Just be honest.
I mean, they're undefeated.
They're not only undefeated, but he's played well against Nebraska whenever it's been called on him to do so. So we got our hands full. And the worst thing you could do right now, I mean, like, it's one of those things where if I'm in the locker room right now, Austin, I'm literally saying to myself, like, this is not going to happen. There's no way in hell that we're coming back into this locker room with an L in back-to-back home games. Yeah. No, that is we're not accepting that by any means. You know what I mean? That's the mentality the leaders probably, I would be not only as a coach, as a leader, I'd be trying to instill. Like, I don't know if we've got to dive into their side of the field, if we've got to jump in a trash can, if we've got to whatever we've got to do. You know what I mean? If we've got to run Little Red out there, I don't care. Whatever we got to do, we're not losing this game. It's just, that's got to be the mentality.
Let's flip it over to the offense for the next 10 minutes or so. Marcus Satterfield asked about Rutgers' red zone defense. Is Nebraska planning to change anything from their approach against Rutgers? What needs tweaking?
It's a great question, but no, it doesn't change anything.
Short, sweet, to the point from Marcus Satterfield. Strick, in your view, is that the right approach to take, or are there some tweaks that Nebraska could or should make in the red zone?
No, why not? Why not leave it there? No, leave it there. Leave it right there. Just simple. We got what we got to do. We know what we're supposed to do. I'm not mad at that type of comment. I don't need them to hear nothing. I don't need them to, read into nothing. Just be straight to the point.
I think that's what you have to say to the media in a scrum like that, but I'm looking for changes.
Yeah.
If you're going to throw the ball inside the 10-yard line, get big dudes out there. Please, goal line fades, write them out of the playbook. They're not good. They're not efficient. I don't care if you have Dylan Raiola and two jump ball receivers in Banks and Nair. They're inefficient plays. Stop with the goal line fades on second down.
Yeah.
Run something mesh. Run something flood.
Yeah.
Run something crossing. I don't care. If you're not able to run the ball straight ahead, I mean, it took you 4 plays to get in the end zone from the 5 against Purdue. At least you got there, right? Made it look easy on fourth down with the Dowdell touchdown. I don't even mind the jets or the pitch toss sweeps to Barney or Bonner, who scored touchdowns on those.
I don't even mind the Tebow jump pass.
Right.
Something.
Tight end pop, something, anything.
Yeah.
But please, keep it simple. Don't overthink it, right? There's a reason the goal line fade is dying from efficient teams' playbooks. They don't run it. They don't use it. They know it's a 50-50 proposition at best. I don't care how good your quarterback and receiver are. It's still a 50-50 bet. Cross them. Make them communicate. Put multiple guys in a zone, but you're probably not playing zone that close. You're probably matched up. So cross them. Flood them. Something. That, to me, if Marcus Satterfield insists on throwing the ball in the red zone, something.
Run a fake a slant into a drag out to the freaking pylon. I mean, something. If you're going to leave him out there isolated, let him do something. Yeah. A stop,
anything.
A stop and then go. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm talking about. You go and fake like you're going to just sit and then dart into the middle. I don't know, something. Just make something. Be creative, bro.
Part of that creativity has to happen in the run game, right? Not just the pass game. Marcus Satterfield was asked, what are the challenges of designing a run game without a running quarterback?
You just try to be creative. Sometimes you run it when you should throw it. You throw it when you should run it. Try to keep teams off balance. You can always find, based on who you're playing, you can always find different angles by formations and motions and alignments. And then there's times you got to get the ball in the perimeter in unique ways, like we've been doing the last couple of weeks.
He kind of listened to Stricky. Maybe he's listening to 93.7 The Ticket. Yeah, Stricky said they got to figure out a way to get to the perimeter. They're not doing a good job. And he said, we got to find angles. Yeah, you've been listening. Yeah, you definitely a 93.7 The Ticket listener on the block. You hang out.
You're a blockhead.
He's a blockhead.
Marcus Satterfield,
No
blockhead confirmed. But Strick, I think that's a great look into the mindset of Marcus Satterfield. He's kind of pitching backwards, as we would call it in baseball, right? 0-0 count instead of just to get me over fastball. He's breaking off a curveball backdoor, trying to get you to take that one, steal a strike. I still think fans think Marcus Satterfield is too pass happy for their liking, but he's telling you he's not just going to call a traditional game. He doesn't think that Nebraska can get away with it, right? They're not good enough running the ball. There's still some kinks to work out in the passing game as well, that if it looks funky, he's not just drawing a number
Just
out
to
of a
do
hat
it.
and say, this is the play that we're running just because, I mixed the numbers up and this is the slip of paper that I pulled. I can at least respect that from Marcus Satterfield saying we kind of have to pitch backwards sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No doubt. I don't have any problem with that. Just show me something. Just be creative. If you're going to do it and do it well. And I thought they did a good job of figuring out a way to get to the perimeter by using Barney. Cool. But now guess what? Rutgers is going to be up on you.
Speaking of Ja'Cory Barney,
yeah,
Marcus Satterfield had a couple questions about him. First of all, what's it like drawing up plays for Ja'Cory Barney?
I mean, our offensive staff's unbelievable. Really, really, really good football brains. You want to be the dumbest guy in the room when you're in my position, and I am. So they come with lots and lots and lots of ideas. The players, Dylan, Ja'Cory, we listen to everybody. It's fun to diagram certain things, and hopefully we can continue to do that and build on the ones that we've done thus far.
First of all, it's a little funny that Marcus Satterfield would give people ammo by saying, you want to be the dumbest guy in the room, and I am. Of course, that's a compliment to the rest of the offensive staff. So let's not all jump down his throat for that one. But on Ja'Cory Barney, he's a true freshman. What is it that makes him the freshman from Miami so special?
You have fast people and you have athletic people, but you may not have athletic people or fast people that are football players. As we've said before, he loves the game of football. He's like a kid at recess when he's out there playing. He has the natural ability for the movements, and then he just natural instinct for the game. So, I mean, you could literally just talk to him, go here, do this, make this move at this depth, and he could go out there and visualize it and do it, which allows you to be more creative with guys like that.
So what do you think, Strick?
No, that's crazy because that's, I was just talking, me and Cluster were on a business meeting yesterday, and that was what he said. That was what he said about me. He's like, it's crazy that, Strick, he learns so quick. You can tell him something and he can go do it. I never had golf lessons. Mm-hmm. I just was able to look at it and duplicate. I was able to look at how they're holding it, how they're gripping it, where they were standing. And then the rest of it, some of it's instinct, it just kicks in. Same thing with football, same thing with basketball, same thing even with baseball. I mean, not playing baseball for all these years and just be able to step out and start hitting sliders and change ups and all of that stuff. That's what Ja'Cory, he's a gifted natural athlete. And in those instances, okay, let me just say it like this. We didn't do a good job of using an athlete like that when we had him, and that was Wan'Dale Robinson.
Glad you went there.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead. I'm done because I think he's understanding, and I like the fact that he's just not so bullheaded in himself that he can that he's taking in information and he's just, taking it, discerning, and then figuring out how to put it together. And right now, they're figuring out how to get that young man the ball. I don't think they did a good job of it early on in the season, to be honest.
And to be fair, a couple of those were called back by penalties. So they tried, and so that does go away from his stats. But they have made an effort to get him the ball more recently, right? It was 2 or 3 touches a game early on. He's averaging 4.5 to 5 touches a game right now, Strick. 23 total plays for 225 yards. But I'm glad you brought up Wan'Dale Robinson. It kind of feels like Nebraska's getting a second chance at a player like that, and they can't afford to waste this one.
There you go. I like that.
What you laughing about over there? What you laughing
Vince
about?
Watson says, I still think that Sat asked Siri for plays. No, I'm not going to say Siri. I'm going to say ChatGPT. ChatGPT. So we've got this young kid named Ja'Cory Barney. Drop about 4 plays for me. ChatGPT's over there. I totally saw a picture of ChatGPT going to work on that. Man, that's crazy, bro. Good stuff.
What is the funniest possible outcome for an offensive coordinator to ask for plays? Is it Siri, is it ChatGPT, or is it just shake up the Magic 8 Ball?
The Magic 8 Ball would be the craziest ones for me. We have an outside wing right, stop and go. The ball just says that. You shake it and the ball says, run a post corner with a dig under, but have Ja'Cory run a round route into the middle. He'll be open. And then you read it like, oh, okay. You start writing it.
Marcus Satterfield shakes the magic 8-ball. Which running back should I put in? Reply hazy. Try again. Cannot predict now.
Oh, that's good.
Should Dylan Raiola throw this pass to Jamal Banks or Isaiah Nair? Outlook good.
That's good stuff, man. I couldn't even imagine that he's sitting either on the sideline or up top.
Who's the little guy that sits in the box? Like Zoltar or whatever? Who's that magic dude that sits in the box?
For what show? What show is it? You know, all you gotta do is ask the Sutter Heyman text. Oh, they're not on today.
Is it like Zoltan, something like that?
Oh, you talking about the guy with the thing on his head,
turban,
and he's just sitting there. He's like inside, and then he puts out the card. Yeah.
This guy,
Zoltar. Is
that
it
guy? Zoltar.
Zoltar. Yeah. That's hilarious. Zoltar. Yeah, get the answers from Zoltar. Every night before the game, Coach Sat goes down, has a conversation with Zoltar, and then all of a sudden it pops out a bunch of plays and a bunch of information about who should play this week. There it is. You should post that, bro.
It's going up in a Twitter poll. That's the last thing I'm going to do. I got to get out of here. I am headed over to the complex to do old school with Jay Foreman. You are in good hands. Harrison Arns coming in for me. Don't go anywhere. You got Strick. You got Harrison for the last half an hour of On the Block.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Hey guys, it's your girl Jordan from Sutter Heyman Jewelers. Gentlemen, it's time to elevate your style with something from our men's jewelry and watch collection. Why not treat yourself to the ultimate in luxury? We've got an incredible selection of pre-owned Rolex watches, even those hard-to-find models you've been dreaming of. Whether you're stepping up your game day look or adding a touch of class to everyday wear, our top-tier collection is sure to impress. Stop by Sutter Heyman and discover the perfect piece to reflect your unique style. Until next time, happy shopping, guys.
Nebco is hiring CDL drivers for ready-mixed concrete, Husker concrete, and Beatrice concrete. Nebco offers great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and they pay for CDL training. Apply today and start your new career with a $2,500 hiring bonus. From Nebco's beginning in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com. General Fire and Safety has been keeping Lincoln businesses and commercial structures safe for more than 50 years. From a simple fire extinguisher to full fire suppression systems, Lincoln has trusted General Fire and Safety to provide top-of-the-line products, installation, and maintenance. If you're starting a new business in a brand new building, call on General Fire and Safety to help you plan a fire safety system that fits the specific needs of your business, employees, and customers. Call General Fire and Safety today at 402-261-0116.
Midwest Bank is proud to be your local community bank right here in Lincoln. This is Travis with Midwest Bank, now with 2 branches conveniently serving Lincoln and 8 other locations across Nebraska. We're here to help you with any of your needs. From opening a checking account to buying a home or financing your business, our staff is here for you. Stop in and you might see Shin Daddy himself. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Learn more at midwest.bank, member FDIC.
Ryan, with all this red and all these people around, I'm still not seeing the tailgate.
Todd Spidell, former body shop owner, terrible driver.
We're getting close. Now, did you know with 3 locations in Lincoln and hundreds of years of combined technician experience, we can get Husker fans back on the road even quicker and safer after their tailgate mishaps? Oh, Todd, turn left right here.
Left or right?
Left, right here.
Right?
Well, you wait for the tow truck. I'm getting a hot dog.
Well, I guess while I'm waiting. All right, most recommended Eustace Body Shop. Woohoo!
Dude, you should be on American Idol. You really think so? No.
Accidents happen, even to Husker fans. If it happens to you, call Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstorats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
Attention students and anyone else looking for a great deal. Sun Valley Lanes and Games has the ultimate weeknight special. For just $15.95, enjoy unlimited bowling, lucky putt mini golf, and laser tag. Flash your college ID at check-in to receive $2 off your admission. It's the perfect way to unwind Sunday through Thursday nights. Check out sunvalleylanes.com for hours and availability. Sun Valley Lanes and Games, located at 321 Victory Lane.
Lincoln's best place to meet, eat, and compete. Sun Valley.
Explain to me again why we're sleeping on the ground.
Because we're thramping, thrift camping. It's saving us money and getting us closer to nature.
But we don't need to thramp. I just combined our home and auto insurance with our State Farm agent, so we have a rate that fits our budget.
All right. Do you think our agent can bring us an air mattress?
Call your local State Farm agent, Vinny Krekak, at 402-474-1173.
Individual premiums and budgets will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
An hour ago, you didn't need a plumber. Now you're in a panic. When life throws you a surprise with a clogged drain, plugged or leaky toilet, broken pipe, leaky faucet or water heater, or a bathroom or kitchen plumbing upgrade, whatever. Just call Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing, 467-1111. Keep that number handy, 467-1111. Or go to BryantLincoln.com. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into On the Block. Harrison Arndt is taking over for Austin Orman, and he is out getting ready for the complex, where Old School will be live throughout the tenure there, down there at the complex. But I'm here with Stricky to my left. And Stricky, I know you sent me a link. Looking to talk about some Heisman candidates right now for On Three's projections. So, Stricky, as the host, I'll let you take it away.
So there it is. I mean, look, it's underway. It's 5 games in 5 weeks, right? And you have to be thinking about what it looked like early on. What are some of the contenders? You probably, if you were looking on the defensive side, who would have a possibility, you might have been looking at Penn State's edge rusher and Abdul Carter. Definitely Travis Hunter, Malachi Moore of Alabama, Walter Nolan of Ole Miss, James Pierce Jr. of Tennessee, and Harold Perkins of LSU. Those would probably be some of the names that would prop up for you. If you're looking at wide receivers, you'd probably have to be looking at maybe Luther Burden of Missouri, Zachariah Branch of South Carolina. Again, your boy Travis Hunter shows up in that mix. And then, somebody like Tatario McMillan out of Arizona. And he's off to a great start, but yet we're gonna check back on that.
Mm-hmm. And Ryan Williams, Alabama. He's definitely gonna be in the mix.
Well, now, but I'm talking about preseason.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
I'm saying this is preseason. So this is how I'm saying in 5 weeks how quickly things can shift.
Mm-hmm.
So for example, think about this. He's on the not Madden, but he's on the NCAA Donovan Edwards.
Yeah.
You would have definitely felt coming off of a championship, he was the guy. He was a part of the combo.
He would have been the first back probably put on that list.
You know what I mean? Right? So you have him, Ollie Gordon, the second, out of Oklahoma State, Amarian Hampton. We're talking running backs now. Amarian Hampton out of North Carolina, and Ashton Jeanty. To me, he is the one that's lived up to the hype. He's the one out of Boise State. That mug is balling. Now, quarterbacks, it's kind of hard to say. You thought maybe like Cade Klubnik would bounce back, maybe Drew Aller would raise up after having
Dylan Gabriel, guys like that.
You know what I mean?
Kind of got the script on him last season.
Yeah. So those are just some of the things that you would have kind of been looking at as some preseason guys at this point. Turn to now. Where would you envision being your top three? Just by what we've been witnessing over the last, like, right. who would you have in the mix of that right now?
As much as it kills me, I think it's crazy if Travis Hunter isn't in that top three, probably even at the one. I mean, two-way player, like you said. You could put him in there for the defense side of the ball or the wide receiver offensive side, and he's got a good argument.
Who else? When you think about Travis Hunter, who does he remind you of in the not too distant past? You might have been too young to know who I'm thinking of.
Like Deion's always like the easy one that people think of. I'm trying to think of other two-way players. Give it to me. Name great two-way players that he's reminding you of right now.
Charles Woodson
out
of Michigan. Now, he didn't do it on a full-time basis. He did it on there has been no Travis Hunter. Help me, 402-464-5685. There hasn't been a Travis Hunter that played that many plays. Like, you had a Deion Sanders that periodically would go over and maybe play a couple series.
Right.
You had Charles Woodson that would come over and maybe play a couple of series, but they were more full-time on one side. You've never had a Travis Hunter that did both full-time. Like, just think about that.
Well, the conditioning's crazy.
That part.
I know people
you're in
try
altitude.
To gas him out, and it doesn't always work. Like, he still makes plays at the end of the game. He's so, I think he's got to be one for me right now. And then you're probably talking about your Boise State running back. I'm blanking on the name right now.
Gosh dang it. I want to pronounce it right.
We got
Ashton Jeanty.
Jeanty, is that how you say
Jeanty? I think it's Ashton Jeanty.
402-464-5685. You always help us. But yeah, you probably put him at 2 because he stood on business. And then you look at Alabama and what they've done. And I would say even like heading into this season, I would have taken Alabama's quarterback. Give me Milroe.
You rolling with Milroe.
Yeah.
And you have to roll with Milroe after he's able to do it. Like, everybody and their mom had super doubts about Milroe coming off of last year in his playoff performance.
Mm-hmm. Especially with a new coach in there. Like, you got to figure all that out. Like, there was some serious question marks. Like, heading into it, it's like, okay, he has shown the flashes, but you could have maybe somewhat have speculated like there could be some disastrous games. Like that Georgia game, depending on how the new coach was fitting the structure, and Milroe, if he was like kind of starting to have some of those ugly plays, then Alabama doesn't figure out a way to come out of that game.
First of all, I can't even believe Georgia was in the game. Like, I dang near turned the game off, and then all of a sudden I look up and they're ahead. And I was like, what? And then they freaking pulled out. Like, that was crazy in itself. Cam Ward is somebody I thought, had potential. And then what he's been able to do in the early onset of the season, I actually like what Cam Ward's got going on down there. I think that's a perfect fit for him, coming out of the West and going down. Who had a further trip? Then is it like UCLA to Rutgers, or is it Cam Ward to Miami? Who has the furthest trip? USC to Rutgers?
I think it's Cam Ward to Miami.
I think it's Cam Ward to Miami, right?
But yeah, I mean, he's been. I mean, the reason why he sticks out because he's just been so fun. I mean, what was the first game of the year where they beat the brakes off Florida? And Cam Ward kind of puts it all on notice. I mean, he's in there, I think, because he put everybody on notice early. Or was he fifth-year senior? Yeah, wrapping up his final career. So he's an older veteran guy too. So you might have had hopes, but the way they came out just to break open the season, I think, has definitely put him on that list.
How is a 17-year-old as a freshman in the mix? That young man is doing, like, for real.
Oh, he's incredible.
I don't know if Alabama's Alabama without that young man right now. Like, I love Milroe, and I think, because just think about what they had in the past. Jamison Williams went down. Like, if their receivers that year didn't get injured, I think they win. With Bryce Young,
yeah.
And when their two best receivers went down with injury, they had one that was still tearing. I think Jamison Williams was tearing him up still.
Yeah.
And then he goes down, and he's got nobody to throw to. But he's got this weapon. Probably showed up on everybody's radar, unexpected. He's like Ryan Williams to me is like a submarine creeping up on you, and you think you're riding out in the great ocean, and next thing you know, you have a torpedo in the water murking you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he's like like you didn't see none of this coming. And now you see it coming, and you still can't do nothing with it. The best of the best that you can probably say, one of the better defenses in the country out of Georgia, he torched them.
Is there a better defense than Georgia right now?
I don't know.
I don't think there
so.
is. And like, that's right. And that's the toughest test you've had. And that's 4 games of just straight consistency too. It's that part that you mentioned, right? Like, maybe you can get out on the scene where they're not properly scouting you, but then have monster games and then still be able to do it against the best defense in the country.
Facts.
And make the clutch plays at the end to bring your team on top. Like, at 17, that's insane to think about.
That's insane, right?
Especially in the era of we're still in that weird era of college football a little bit, where I still think it's even harder for those 17-year-olds to really step out, because you're still dealing with, I think, we're on the last year of these COVID players. I still think we're on the one more year of these guys lingering around. So we're still just had an unnaturally older group of college guys that we're starting to get out of. So to be 17 and just dominate against a Georgia unit like that, yeah, he's going to keep climbing up that list, I think.
Yeah. The one that surprises me, and they have him tied for 6th right now in the rankings out of On3, is Kalel Mullins out of Michigan. There's the one that throws you off, because you thought that would have been, if anything, Donovan Edwards.
Yeah.
It's not even him. It's not even him. That's what's crazy. He had the biggest workload of the season, and it's not even Donovan Edwards. He carried the rock against Minnesota. Was it Minnesota? I think, against Minnesota. 24 times for 11 yards and 2 touchdowns.
What was it, 24 times for how many yards?
No, that's not right. Let me look at that.
A couple touchdowns. I thought you said it. But yeah, for it not
Gosh,
to be Edwards,
I got the wrong stat.
You're good there. I wonder what it is with Edwards. If that's that, the running back who's taking over and Mullins is just that much better, or is the fact that the offensive line maybe really made Edwards look better than what he was?
I think it had a lot to do with the offensive line. I mean, what do you think?
It's got to be the offensive line, right? If the other guy's is starting over him, and at one point, I mean, he's sitting on the cover. Obviously, we're not there at practice, but that's what it says to me, is that offensive line. It's kind of like with the 49ers. Slap a running back there, and we'll make them look incredible.
Is there a Madden or a NCAA curse? We talked about that briefly. Is it a curse?
It feels like it,
right?
It typically, yeah, man. Even if you go back to like some of the old covers,
yeah,
Madden feels like they're okay.
They do? You think so?
I mean, I remember it. I'll be honest. Like, Madden's kind of gone in the toilet for me. I think the last really good one was 17. I think that one was Gronk, and he had a pretty nice career. So he's not cursed. I don't know if the Madden you can say is cursed. I'd have to look at how the newer faces were, but we do got to go to break here. Strick, you got that stat for me?
I was trying to pull it up, but the computer is going really slow.
I'll go. We'll get it during the break. Don't go anywhere. We'll keep things rolling here on the block with Stricky and Harrison Arns filling in for Austin Orman as he's getting set up for the complex. That's where Old School will take place. But you got one more segment Harrison Arns, Stricky. We'll talk to you on the other side.
It's the fall sports season, and that means that the school year is back in session and you're planning road trips for Nebraska football games and following your kids around to their different events. Stop telling yourself you'll upgrade your car someday and do it now. Mullen Motors lot is full of great vehicles to take home so you don't have to worry about your current car struggling through another season. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Lake and find your next ride. As your fall schedule gets busy, you'll need a reliable way to get to your destinations. Mullen Motors.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
I'm softball player Jordy Ball, and I'm proud of my Nebraska roots, and I'm proud to be back home. And at Midwest Bank, they're proud to be your local community bank. They believe in family first, taking initiative, showing integrity, and rolling up their sleeves to support their local communities. They treat everyone like family, no matter where you're from. Whether you walk into a branch in York, Lincoln, Norfolk, or Pierce, you know you're going to be welcomed with a smile. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank.
Looking for a place to relax and unwind after a busy day? Cigars Lounge at 8th and Q in the Haymarket is the perfect place to enjoy good company, a cocktail, and of course a cigar. Visit Cigars Lounge on Tuesdays for Top Shelf Tuesday and enjoy 50% off select spirits. Cigars Lounge offers Perdomo, San Cristobal, Rock Patel, and more of the top stogie brands that you know and love. But that's not all. If you mention this ad between noon and 5 p.m., you'll receive 15% off your entire tab just by mentioning the ticket. Check out Cigars Lounge today at 8th and Q in the Haymarket. All right, Rico, let's do the final checklist before we head out. We have a lot of people coming to the tailgate today.
I'm ready.
Burgers?
Check.
Chips?
Check.
Icy cold beer?
Check. Except this one.
I'm forgetting something. Wait a second. Where's the Fuhrer's cheese spread?
I can't stop eating it.
Rico!
Relax. I always pack extra. It's the biggest hit of the tailgate.
For the best appetizer, party dip, and tailgate snack, load up on Fuhrer's cheese spread today in most local grocery stores.
Riddle's Jewelry is excited to be celebrating 65 years. 65 years of so many incredible memories celebrating with each of your special moments. In celebration of the 65th Riddle's Jewelry anniversary, we will be offering up to 40% off all engagement rings and all diamond fashion jewelry. The excitement doesn't stop there. Riddle's Jewelry is also offering 18 months, 0% interest and $0 down financing on all qualifying purchases. Riddle's Jewelry has always been known for incredible customer service, one of the largest selections of engagement rings, and don't forget about the on-site jeweler. Come celebrate with us at Riddle's Jewelry, your one-stop diamond shop with exclusive Levian jewelry, Pandora Charm jewelry, and more. All at Riddle's inside Gateway Mall. Mulberry Barbecue by Single Barrel is the answer to all your lunch and dinner cravings. They have everything from smoked turkey sandwiches to brisket burritos to burnt-in sandwiches and pulled pork. Try a dinner plate option of barbecue nachos, a half-smoked chicken, a full slab of ribs, and so much more. Don't forget their great sides like mac and cheese, cheesy potatoes, barbecue beans, or red slaw. Mulberry Barbecue by Single Barrel, open Monday to Saturday from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. at 11th and Cornhusker Highway.
Garage doors can be expensive. Are you keeping yours in the best condition possible? This is Cameron Hall with Doors Plus. Doors Plus is a locally owned business that prides itself on the fast, reliable, and friendly service. Doors Plus offers flexible scheduling so you can book an appointment that fits your busy day. My team and I will come out to your property, both commercial and residential, and provide you with the necessary information you need to make sure your garage door is in working and smooth condition. Give Doors Plus a call today at 402-590-5800 to book an appointment and learn more about our preventative maintenance plans. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
What's the radon level at your home? Don't know? Find out with a call to Bryant Air Conditioning and Heating. Make sure your home is safe with a radon check from Bryant. If you've already tested, ask Bryant for a free estimate for mitigation. Once completed, you'll get a report showing how much safer your home is. When it comes to radon, call Bryant. 467-1111 for testing and mitigation. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
Constructors is now hiring for all positions, with laborers starting at $23 and up based on experience. Constructors has immediate job openings for laborers, mechanics, bridge builders, operators, and drivers. Start your new career today. Constructors offers great pay, health, dental, and vision insurance, paid time off, paid holidays, and so much more. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. For a complete list of openings and to apply online, visit constructorslincoln.com.
This is James Harrell with NP Dodge Real Estate. When I became a licensed realtor, I wanted a brokerage that would help me grow in my new career. I found that in Lincoln First Realty. When Lincoln First was acquired by NP Dodge, the training and support I received only got better. I love knowing I have the power of the NP Dodge brand behind me. I would recommend NP Dodge to new agents looking to jumpstart their real estate career and to current agents who want to take their business to the next level.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
It's game day at Raising Cane's. If you want to order like a champ, it's the action off the field you need to focus on. The only play you're running is chicken. So what combo are you picking? Make it a perfect season. We've got tailgates of hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers and cane sauce, and jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade. All available to order online or on our app. Touchdown! This season is about to be unbeatable. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, one love.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back in. A final segment on the block. Harrison Arns filling in for Austin Orman. Stricky to my left. That's Eric Strickland, former NBA vet, former Husker. 402-464-5685. You guys can join in on this one. It's going to be short and quick as we get ready to send it out to the guys over at the complex. Looking at Big Ten college football, and Strick, I'll ask you first. Give me your biggest surprise, as in these guys have actually got their stuff together. They might go ahead, go to a bowl game, and then some. And then the biggest disappointment thus far. And maybe not a disappointment if you're rooting against them, but I guess it all depends a little bit.
To me, I've got to be honest. Up to this point, I've got to make sure it's sustainable, but it feels like there's something going on up in Bloomington. They're impressing me right now.
The offense is what I don't care. I don't care who you're playing.
Yeah.
I don't give me the teams they're playing all their week. When you're putting up that many points consistently, you're clicking on offense. Like they got things figured out.
Like, would you expect that Curtis Rourke would be tearing up the scene with over 1,372 yards passing and 11 TDs and only 2 interceptions? Like, I don't care what anybody says. I didn't see that coming in. There's just no way I would have saw that, right?
No, and I didn't see any articles saying anything about Indiana and what they're building either, so I don't want to hear it from people said, oh, I didn't. Like, there's some maybe around the local area, but I think I wasn't seeing anything about Indiana. Watch out for Indiana. I was seeing some teams like Kansas State, Illinois, but nothing really about Indiana outside of like if you go on their own local forums, but I wasn't hearing anything past the state of really hyping up this team. But I think they're going to be a problem in Nebraska when they face them. They'll probably be undefeated.
Yeah, and I think that could be setting up just for a great opportunity for Nebraska to take advantage of. Yeah. 1B is going to be Rutgers for me because here's why. You know who they are. You knew what to expect out of them. Mm-hmm. They're ground and pound and they're sound on defense. So they're just basically a hard-nosed team.
Big Ten football.
That's it. They right now are the epitome of it, more than what Minnesota would be or even Wisconsin. Like they're becoming that because they're just staying true to form. Mm-hmm. They're doing what they do, and they're just going to take advantage of anything any mistakes you make, any gaps you miss, any tackles you miss. They're just like, we're just going to take advantage of all of that. You better be totally sound. You better be disciplined because we're going to do that.
Yeah, and on defense, they'll send blitz all over the place. Yeah, they'll bring the safety to the corner, and they just play that Big Ten football to a brand. They like getting big hits on the quarterback,
right.
And they'll dial up ways to do it.
Disappointment, real quick. Go run one.
I think biggest disappointment for me is honestly a little bit surprised by the row the boat squad. PJ Fleck. I thought this would be a year where they'd wake up a little bit in terms of PJ Fleck needs this, I think, to keep his job. So to see them just out of the gates 2-3, 0-2 in conference play already, that's tough. I know I wasn't expecting them to like be a dominant team by any means, but to already be, second bottom at the Big Ten for what felt like a hot seat year already for PJ Fleck, Minnesota. That'd be my first disappointment. Stricky, what do you got?
I'm only going to say this, but I can understand this because there's a huge exodus when Kalen DeBoer left, and there's a huge exodus. You're going to lose a lot of players, and you're going to have to revamp. You got to get adjusted to it. So I expected this, but it's a disappointment because you're coming off of going to the playoff. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So Washington fans got to be disappointed. They've got to be just hurt. You're already hurt by what you lost. And then you lost, and now you're losing. Like, it's just got to be just total disappointment up there in Seattle.
Yeah, and, to add to it as we got to wrap things up here, they could have beat Rutgers, and that would have certainly helped flip their team around, and that was a close game, 18-21. Makes things interesting, too, because I'm trying to figure out if those teams are good. Maybe we're underrating them, but Nebraska, they're going to have an opportunity to at least face Rutgers. But don't go anywhere. We're going to keep things rolling here for Old School. Coming up next, they're live out there at the complex. Shout out Stricky joining me and Austin Orman taking over before I got here. So don't go anywhere. You got Austin Orman in the Old School crew down there at the complex right here on 93.7 The Ticket, ticketfm.com.